Before giving him just find out where he is. Don't give him an option. Brayo, soko je. Sign they can change the number. Coach not sign me. Have you signed? He hasn't yet signed. Why you put
Good afternoon. Welcome once again to Uganda Volleyball Federation National League. We are coming live, we are live from Sports in Zambia ground in the heart of Kampala City in Uganda. My name is Memory Jule, aka Coach Menza. I've taken some time away from this game. I mean the game of commentary, definitely not the game of volleyball. And I will be taking you through this game today. Nemo Stars versus Prison. And
Aguma, don't run. She's back.
we're preparing right now to feature at the ACC that will be upcoming next month in Libya. And they'll be the only team that is going to go for the men's tournament representing the country as well. So I am well aware that they've been really training hard and they've been preparing for this. And we do wish them all the best even as they go that side. But also we have a more resilient side, a side that really, when they meet these teams, they really go hard, you know, and that is Prisons. I'll also be giving you just a glimpse of how it's looking like on our log standings as time goes on. But thank you so much for just always tuning in on our channel. Thank you for subscribing, and we encourage you just to invite other people as well to subscribe to our channel. Invite other people just to watch volleyball and just enjoy what we have. But also, suppose you don't want to watch it live, you're welcome to come to NSAMBYA Sports Grounds, because there is free entry. One of the few sports that you get free entry. So you better do it now, because definitely in the future we might be charging to get into these games. And there goes the whistle. We have the lineups coming up. Definitely the Nemo bench looks so slim today, like very, very slim, with only one substitute, Fahad, who I'm seeing on the outside. Hopefully others are going to come through as well, but we don't see Ongom right now on the opposite. And as it looks, Esau might be going on that opposite position as well. And then George will be going with Wandera. Wandera, the most ever quiet Wandera, the jersey number 15 on the that left side, outside hitter. And then Willington and Bernard Malinga, Redman as they call him, are going to be going in through the middle. And none other than JB, one of the legendary setters in Uganda, who is in that setting position. And there's Brian as the libero right there. We don't see Ongom, we don't see Dewo. So that's quite a different setup in terms of what's happening on the court. Meanwhile, Prisons have Ate going in on that opposite position, and on the libero we have Olopot, and we have Ochabal. They are going on the outside as well, and he's going together with Ojema. All right, first error there from Nemo, and that's a point for Prisons there. George on that white part, and he easily gets that point. We always talk about his skill levels. We always talk about how it may be hard for us as the country to get us someone who's going to be consistent and skilled like George, both as a Nemo player but also as a captain in this club. And our score is 1-0. Right, an out ball right there. So starting with the mistakes there, but you can see him also, Ojema, holding on to his shoulder. So the scores right there are now 2-1 to Nemo, even as the captain makes that small, easy jump save that aces in between the libero and Ojema. So quite a good start for Nemo in terms of just the service, where it's going and where the screen is. Actually, he's going above the screen and just jumping slightly there. And he turns and he curves and he goes out. That's another point right there. So Nemo are just having it nice and easy, even as they get a point from that era by Ate, who normally chooses to go aggressive, but we see him just going for a dump. Maybe he saw those services, that there was a block that was high up, and the captain gets a big service and gets an ace. I think that's one of the differences that we've seen after the zone 5. We see several clubs just going for that jump save, and I would say it's a good thing to have at least a player who jumps on any of the men's volleyball, and Esau easily takes that, and it's a side out point. It's a transition point, actually. Sorry about the transition point. Basically, I mean a point that the team has managed to serve well and defend, and they get a ball coming back to their side and they score on it. So Prisons are quite struggling on that pass there, even as the captain George has all his services targeted to zone 1 and an error right there. Finally, is the point from that a Prison, it's Ojema takes to that service pass. But Redman is linked at Wandera will have to go again second time, but tries to go easy and he gets blocked, and that's a point for Prisons. And so one of the things that definitely teams try to do nowadays is they try to go hard on the service. Like service is the first attack any team can play, and Esau gets a side out even as he's gone off his normal position that we always see him play. But I must say that of the points that I have seen being made, Ojema has been in the mix of it. I think if it were errors, he should be definitely on a minus, even as the game, it's in the early stages of the game. Redman with his easy float save that he normally uses the fingers to touch, but Redman is also not able to pick up that dump, and it's a side out point. I find it funny though how he is quite a very good run-up, and I'll be expecting him to get on the ball and snap on it, but normally he just goes on the fingers on that one. Sometimes he gets it right, sometimes it goes a bit slow. George picks that one up, and to Esau again, and Esau hammers it down, and you can see right there Ochabal apologizing because his block came in flying, going off and leaving some space for Esau to just cut across right there. And that's the kind of discipline that you expect from players, is that they get to mark for their middles well there. And Ochabal gets that one after the captain made an error, and head and over pass. 5-8 it is in favor of Nemo, but Prisons still on the service box. One of the things also that worries me is sometimes in cases of injury, if players are really, like if a team is limited like the way Nemo is limited today, it becomes so hard for the team to perform, because sometimes some players cannot really fully apply themselves because the setter, for example, has got no sub. But yeah, while we're on that, Esau is just enjoying those swings from that opposition. He looks as comfortable as he is when he's on the left side. And I think that's big for players to see that versatility in terms of how they change the positions. We have the points now on the screen. Damuli, I hope you can see them, and Emmanuel, I hope you can see the scores as well right there. And out, Ochabal is also struggling as well. Nemo is really having a strategy when it comes to the service, and for me it really is impressive to see teams are sticking to their game service plan and executing it. And JB gets that block touch, unfortunately it goes out. Ochabal on the service box. They're the men who we sometimes see referring in our Serie B, and targets that serve very well. Oh, Wellington passes that one and follows it and gets a point right there. It's good that sometimes middles are able to practice that passing, because that ball was intentionally served to his position. So Nemo looking quite comfortable despite their bench being so small. And a drop serve there, middle, and oh my word, I hope JB is okay, as he's been stepped on by the opponent player right there. And that's what basically I was talking about earlier on, because we can see the way he jumps and lands on the other side, and that is Ojema. And taking into consideration that he's the only setter that they have, but also for his health, that could be not a good thing. I hope he's fine. It looks like it's the ankle, even as he stays down. So Nemo staff are still attending to that injury right there.
There's only one set up to go.
So JB has been taken off court and play continues right there. And Fahad has come in place for him, and a side out point for Prisons right there. Yeah, I think that's such a blow for Nemo. I mean, considering that they're really preparing for the ACC. Yeah, Emmanuel, that's exactly what I was scared of as well. I just commented about it to say sometimes you don't really need to have just such a small squad, but we just live to see if Nemo can manage and just recover, because some of these things they become a bit mental for a team. Yeah. And you can see Fahad getting his first set right there, just out to 4, and he gets it right. Fahad is also one player who we've seen in the past playing all kinds of positions. I think to me, he's a player who's quiet and he's calm. That's his first set there. He's not looking like he wants to do too much, but just to put the ball up there. But still Nemo has that lead. So we'll see how Prisons is going to try and exploit that. But if Nemo can just be blocking, and Fahad does again go on that outside, and so just a mega rally right there for both the teams, and Fahad misses that one right there. So yeah, Nemo are really gonna play in an awkward position right there, but still I wouldn't say that Prison is giving them so much of a hard time, you know. I beg to differ. Someone saying Prisons is not all that bad. I'm not sure, but I think, yeah, they're not all that bad, because, I mean, obviously, they're a team that can really play and give teams that challenge. But in this case, when Nemo doesn't have a setter, and the set scores when JB got injured were like a difference of 6 points. So I'm not sure how bad is not bad. But yeah, they seem to be matching up right now and getting their vibe up, obviously, because they know that Nemo is off position, you know. But Nemo will have to step up and work against this. And that's an out ball. George on the service box right there. He's going to go for a jump. He's still picking that one position, and again out. Oh, but there is a touch from Nemo's side. But yeah, I think Prisons are not that bad, but I don't think they are really that aggressive as well. So I just think it's just an issue where they found Nemo on that position where they've got a default setter, and even as they missed that serve right there by Okanya. So setter has been found on the net. That's Diri, jersey number 2, right? Oh, it's actually not the setter. It's the middle. It's the middle of Obo. He just landed on the net right there, even as he was going for that fake set. And then he goes up high on that first point and on that middle and secures the point. I think the rains are not really being friendly to us today. But at the moment, the score is 12-16. Nemo have a 4-point advantage. And Fahad is really trying. It's so good that Fahad is actually trying to go middle. You know, unfortunately, that link could not quite work for him in Wellington. And that's an easy block by jersey number 11, who is Ojilong. That's an away point and a point that has just been given as a freebie. I call those freebies because it's like we didn't ask for it, but you just decided to attack out of the court, like you're swinging wide. And we see there just the cameras have to be removed because of the rains. As the rains are starting, we will be right back if it stops raining. Esau won the service, Brooks, the young man, Esau Esil. And right through the middle, through the hands of Wellington, even as we coach the middle players, we tell them just choose a side and just block there so that they don't get to go above you, way behind you. The floor defense will not be able to see. And you can tell clearly that George did not quite anticipate where that one was going to come through, and he couldn't defend it. So that's a point for Prisons. And Wandera hits a continuous ball, and Fahad hasn't yet stabilized. We can see that because normally I would think those are balls that he usually easily blocks, and the score is 2 points away, even as Ochabal took that swing. So Nemo are having to be patient with those sets that are coming. A block touch right there. Unfortunately, it's out as Wandera gets that side out. This seems to be less of professional volleyball, as if it's a friendly game. Vitalis, well, our Ugandan volleyball, we can't really call it professional. It's maybe we can call it semi-pro or even amateur. But amateur doesn't mean like kind of boozer situation. Amateur means we are a competitive league. Unfortunately, we don't play for money. So most of the times people mix up the two words, amateur and professional. Professional, they play for money, you know. So ours is a competitive league, like very competitive. But because we don't really play for money, and it's a few players who get money as a salary, so it's not really a professional league. In Uganda, we don't yet have that professional league, but we do have an amateur league. That is our league that we have, that is really vibrant and is very strong. I think I speak for a lot of African countries. We are not yet at a stage of having the pro leagues. I think Rwanda is also fully not a pro league. They're semi-pro. I think the likes of Egypt, maybe they could be going pro. But yeah, just those are some of the differences that you would want to know in sports. Service out by Wellington. Lately, Wellington's services are not really as aggressive as they used to be. I think Wellington in the first half, his services were very good floaters that would go from corner to corner. Then a service there from Ojilong, and Redman does not quite dump it well, even as he just giggles right there. And the pressure is mounting on Nemo, definitely. Because of that set, and yeah, there's quite a lot of mistiming. I would say Fahad should just do simple because I think he has the quality of players that can jump the Prisons players. And an ace on George by Ojilong. The scores are level. 19-all is the score.
Compound umbrella.
Nemo has called for a timeout.
Marcus, how's the weather? I don't want to interfere with this lady. But Marcus, you can turn. Marcus, you can turn.
It looks like JB is up and walking. Maybe it was something that needed a bit of stripping, but will he be able to go up and jump and a net touch there, and 2019 is the score for Nemo Stars. Yeah, it's funny if you're up here for me and you're hearing the comments of the spectators, but unfortunately you guys out there will not hear them. And JB is back on the backcourt, and it looks like he's walking, and yeah, I think it's a positive thing for his side. But Prisons looking a bit fired up right now, and they are even running that middle confidently, and 20 apiece is the score. And Redmond chooses to go for that dump that finds that the players are flat-footed at the backcourt right there. And 21-20 is the score. I think it's quite an interesting score. Prisons has really taken advantage of that injury of JB, and confidently there is no block right there. Redmond jumping with his men in the middle, and the court is wide open, and the opportunity is taken by Okanya, and he goes that cross court where the middle is supposed to be closing it, and gets a side out point. So let's see who's going to be first to get to 25, or if it will go beyond. (22-21) is the scoreline. The sun is coming out right now, so that's a good thing, I should say, for both these teams that were on court, because once a game gets disturbed, sometimes it's so hard to get the rhythm, especially for a side like Prisons that has really found their rhythm and is running those middles right there, and that one finds Redman standing, and yeah, it's a good point. He's going quick, he's going across, he's going elbow away, thumb down, so it's a good thing for this side. I hope he won't continue crossing, because I think even on that point he crossed, and that's what happened in the first place when JB got injured. And Wellington going for a dump, and that's 23-22 is the score. SOS on the service box. I'm not quite seeing their hard services today, these Nemo guys, but SO manages to get an overpass. Will they use it? And Wellington manages to able to use that, and it is set point for Nemo Stars. timeout called. Sometimes it could be an issue of maybe the players missing that contact point on the service in order to easily have that snap. But I think so far I've seen George has got some good services, but I've also seen Prison side are also able to pick out on who they want to save that ball to. I've seen them a couple of times. They're serving to their Wanderer when he's in front, and they're serving to George when he's in front. I'm not sure how or if that has paid off, but right now the score is set point to Nemo and 22 to Prisons on this first set, and JB is back on court, and he looks like he's able to play. I haven't seen how he's going out high on that jump, and he does look like he's walking comfortably. Emmanuel saying Prisons had the chance to win. Emmanuel, I beg to differ. From where I am, I don't think we can say they had the chance. I think they had the chance to fight, because we really didn't see them go in front of Nemo this whole set. All they did was just at least catch up. But in terms of the rain, it was okay, and now it's drizzling again. So, and Esau goes and gets on those hands, and the set ends 25-24. I still go back to my words that I said that Nemo started comfortably. When JB got injured, the point where, like, the point difference was 6 points, So, but Prisons did try to catch up, taking advantage of the time when Fahad was setting. They tried bringing in that middle. However, I think the services need to still be a bit more strategic, a bit more faster for both teams. We will wait and for the next set and see how both teams start, even as the weather keeps confusing us. We're back on second set. No changes from Nemo Stars. What about from Team Prisons? It does look like there are no changes as well. But like I said, our Ugandan weather today is planning to confuse us, because it does look sunny, but as I'm speaking, people are carrying umbrellas. It's now pouring. Yeah, starting to pour, actually, not exactly pouring, but it's now starting to pour. In any minute, if you don't see us, guys, just know it's the rains. But side out right there, even as that set was tied, picked up by Wanderer nicely, ball up, and it's taken over by Esau as an easy ball. Wow, I'm wondering if the other player touched that ball because Redmond played that ball and then went up again to block it. But both teams getting off the court right now as it is looking like it's pouring. I still do think that in a few minutes we will be back because we will be back. I hope Shadrach is listening back, not back, because it is really, really starting to rain here, and I do hope that people are going to fit in our small car shelter here at the Zambia Sports Grounds. Please stay tuned even as we wait for the rains to stop.
Why are you fighting with that woman?
I'm not fighting, I'm just triggering me. Even the six next round, I trigger her. And she's like, this one is my dog.
You know you can do the games there. Representing Uganda.
Uganda in the finals.
Marcus, Marcus, it's not totally dry. It's not totally dry. Shall we pass this in? Shall we make use of this? When you want it, we shall speak. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon once again. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for waiting. We are back on. The court is a bit wet, not too wet. The sun is now up. Hopefully the rains can rest us meanwhile and then come back later in the evening. I mean, we do appreciate having the rains. We are still live from Sporters NSAMBYA grounds, where we are giving you the Ugandan National League, and today's game is Nemo Stars up against Uganda Prisons. The team and in set scores, Nemo leads 1-0, and this second set, Nemo, before we went for the rain break, as I would call it, it was 1-0 in terms of the points to Nemo. Yeah, and we can still see a few people still trying to dry the courts while the players still trying to warm up again. I think what I would say from a sports scientist perspective is that such disturbances sometimes they can change the momentum of the game, and we will live to see and watch how this game is going to change. Sometimes the game does remain the same, but sometimes the game completely changes because of that break. But the good news is that JB, who was injured in the first set, is back up, and it seems he's walking normal. So it's a good sign, because normally ankle injuries, someone can barely walk soon after the injury. But I think an appreciation post is for our man, who's always up there and doing the most for volleyball. We saw him at the Zone 5 cleaning the court, and he's here today. He's also cleaning the court. I will get his name. I know him very, very well, but honestly, I don't know his name definitely, but I'll get you his name. He's always up and up there to volunteer for our sport, and shout out to him. As you can see him on the screen in his red shirt. The referees are getting everything ready there. The second referee signals to say, yes, first ref, we are ready. So just so you know, the second referee in volleyball is the one who talks to the scoreboard and makes sure that everything's ready, and tells the first referee to say everything is good, we can proceed. So on the service there is JB, and from the opposite side, a dump right there. I normally like calling it a sliding volleyball every time it rains on our courts, because players now have to be really, really careful. And we can see he chose a dump there because he couldn't quite jump and go up high. That is Obu, and he gets that point, and it's one apiece. And a swing that has gone out right there, and it's 2-1 as Adiri continues on that service box. A drop serve, and it's 3-1 for Prisons. The momentum is going to momentum for Nemo. That is Emmanuel Mwaka, well rested now. So yeah, thank you for that comment. And responding to a comment where I was talking about back and saying back. So in Southern Africa, we normally pronounce those as back. I mean, it's our accent. You know how it's like where as a country, you know that there's some pronunciations that you don't get right, or actually no one ever said it's right or wrong, but it's because of our local language. So it forces us some words to pronounce it that way. So that was the contest I was talking in, but also I'm missing my man Shadrach, who normally teases me about that. And going on court right there, getting that point is Prisons, who seem to have figured it out how to play this sliding volleyball. They're like, you know what, we're not gonna take those big swings because we might get injured, but they're just going up there and they're dumping. That ball seems to be out, but the ref is very, very close than I am. And another serve will be coming through to George. And what kind of a swing is this? And Wandera goes on the block and he is blocked. Nemo are looking cautious. I think with the injury that they have, definitely it would follow, but also with the court after the rains, that would worsen the situation. And that's a block kill. Esau swings easily right there, and he's easily picked up. Ochabal goes, and that ball is set off position by JB, and again right there, and net. So yeah, that's a shift in momentum. That's a shift. You can see even the just the faces of the Nemo, like they're really in an uncomfortable position. Nemo trails with 4 points. Service is going to George, by the way. And Redman is blocked, and Wandera goes and picked again by George. Esau dumps that one. It's coming back, and a dump. So a block by Redman. I think there were several whistles even as the other game for Serie B has started on the other court. But yeah, I do wish and hope that one day in future, as a country or as countries, Africa is affected the most, we will get to be able to play all volleyball games indoor, because 6 versus 6 is actually an indoor sport. And running the middle there, going for that dump, and Wandera takes a swing and is blocked. So basically what we've seen is that most of the swings are not scoring because people are up there. They're able to block because you're not having that approach. So they might need to start thinking the way Prisons is playing, just go up and get those dumps. 7-3 is the score to Prisons. Esau scores on that up and down swing. Even as we went on the side of the block where Ochabal and is blocking with. That's a tear on that side out. And it's still a dump. So all the dumps have scored on this set. Someone says JB seems to be struggling. That's Emmanuel. Thank you, Emmanuel, for tuning in. I think you've been here just waiting up for this game. Yeah, he seems to be going slowly. I'm not sure if it's, definitely on the net he will go slowly. And a save has been made. We don't know if that is a point or it's a retake. So it does look like another save by Wandera there, and it goes on court, and it is a hit kill by Ojilong. I said it before the rains that Prisons were starting to be really confident and start running that middle, and we still continue them doing so, but Wellington had definitely left their men, and George was on the block there. And a block touch there, and the hands were all facing outside the court. The setter Adiri seems to be doing a pretty good job, honestly, in making sure that it's a side out to side out game for Prisons. He's equally distributing, but he's also splitting the block quite well. And on that side out, they're splitting the block. But what I've noticed also is that JB is not going up. So yeah, you are right, Emmanuel, to say JB is a bit struggling, because he definitely went off that block, and obviously a strategy to make him not to jump more, just to reduce on that ankle that was injured. Net touch after the ball was well defended on the line, right there by Adiri. So Nemo will take to the service box as they trail by 3 points, 7-10. Well picked by JB and dumped as well by Redmond, but George gets that block touch. The gap keeps decreasing. It's now a 2-point gap. The setter is front court for Prisons. Let's see what combination he runs. So definitely Prisons are making their own errors there. I think they haven't been really scored these last few points. They are just not really making the right decisions. And another block. Actually, they mounted a 3-man block for him. The court is drying up, as you can see. The sun is up. But yeah, that's how blessed we are in Uganda. The weather can just change anytime, you know. But yeah, these are very big blessings. Timeout will be called even as the scores are level. Nemo were chasing a 4-point lead, and they caught up easily. And the coach says, you know what, we need to talk about it. I think for me, it's basically the errors. I think looking at the court right now, I don't think the setter should be setting those back sets. Well, I will say back sets because I'm Ndebele. So yeah. The middles have been scoring as well, so that pass, it's coming through very well. So setting a middle might maybe increase their chances of scoring, but also the court is now dry, so they could work around that. Let's see what they have from the timeout, even as JB, who's a tactical saver, is still on the service box. We'll see a substitution right there. And Oppo is coming off. That's another block right there. Still trying to check to say who came in for Obo. That's almost Sana is coming in that middle position. I'm wondering though what really Obo contributed into to be substituted, because he was going well for that middle, and they failed to get another point and even touch the net. So Nemo has had a 6-0 point run. So they're struggling. Prisons is actually struggling right now, because JB is just simply crossing the set. The passes are coming, however, so all they need is just someone to really commit to those balls, and that's a good choice there to take the dump by Ateo, who seems to be really scoring very well for his team. Adiru will take to the service box. He's been really serving quite well, not too much power, but maybe in terms of the target, he's been picking his target well. And this time he picks Wandera, and Redman becomes Redman in that middle attack. We had long stayed and missed those services. We can see Omosana there still jumping up and down, probably didn't get to quite warm up well, even as the coaches got to introduce him in the game. George goes on that jump serve, and he's on the net. He's made more errors than he makes when he's serving his usual jump float. But I don't think to him it will matter or to the team, because they've managed to cover that gap and even get a 1 point lead with a side out advantage. A good pass right there. Again, Redman goes in the middle end. That ball, will it come back? Oh yes, that's a good chase. That's a good chase. Brian goes to Wandera there, confirm, and a block. That's a good hustle. That's a good hustle, honestly. And the net touch is charged on Esau right there. So that was worth fighting for. But the ref did take quite some time to pick on that net touch. But Prisons will gladly take that home, and those were good efforts by them. That was a good read, actually. There was a slight net touch, and an overpass leads to Prisons regaining that service advantage. And on the service box, with none other than Okanya, the El Capitano. He serves to Brian, but Brian has one of those rare overpasses. Okay, they're picking on Brian. Esau goes high. And yeah, I will say it again. I don't understand the substitution. Omusana hasn't managed to touch any of the balls right there. We can see how high Esau is, and him as a middle is not that high. But also Ochabal didn't quite help in that, because he flew and went to the other side, leaving a gap for Esau to go through. Off system and easily picked. George is down and up again. But that was a good swing, definitely. That's what a very, very good swing from Prisons there, even as they still maintain that 1 point lead. Net touch, yet the ball was out. I think Prisons are really managing to stay in the ground right now and defend those balls. Maybe here and there they don't get to settle out to score from that transition, but their defenses have gone quite well at the backcourt, however, not on the net touch. And that ball hits the antenna. So if any of you is out there and is not quite sure what those sticks are, the ones that are red and white, those are antennas to just align with the line. So any ball that touches the antennas is outside, but any ball that touches even the poles is also outside. And that's a good swing by Ochabal. He swings and he crosses the court. I'm scared of injuries right now. We've seen quite a lot of those injuries, but yeah, that was a very good swing from Ochabal. Ate takes to the service box. Ate, I think in the past, if I'm right, he used to feature for Sky, one of the teams that is still trying to find rhythm in this league. So that ball well saved to the target, and Ochabal gets that swing. I think the issue here that is really working very well for this Prison side right now, even as they get a 2 point lead, is the fact that they are able to pick on that middle who is in front. They're not going hard, but they're just pressurizing them and putting the screen right there. So it makes it easy for them to then see, and George plays that one out, and the score is 18-16. Timeout called by Nemo Stars. 2 point lead is what Prisons have. So this Prison side comes back and really seems to have gained momentum. They're defending well right now. I mean, the blocks could get better, but I think I will applaud them for their defense. I will also applaud them for their services. We see every time they're able to quite pick up that outsider who's in front. Right now they're picking on Wandera, and we can see now George has had to send Wandera outside, and the both Esau who's playing opposite today to pass, and George manages to get that pass through, and it goes to George on that pipe, and it is blocked. That's a good read, Esau on that backcourt, and Esau nails it down. Good blocks. I was talking about the blocks there, and they did get a block, even though it was a continuous block. So Nemo now trails by 1 point, and Wandera is on the service box, and he just goes easy to 6 and outside. Ochabal still enjoying going on that swing in between the outsider and the middle until they join that. I think I should whisper to Ochabal, keep going, keep going. The middles are not really joining completely, and or else maybe they should just leave the line for him, and we'll see if he can do anything. But right now, sitting comfortable in a 2-point lead is Prisons, who have served to Wandera again. To George, the ball will go and side out. 18-19 is the point. He uses the same strategy, going just in between, taking the seam. So the weather is now friendly, and there is no block right there, but it's picked up by Wellington easily, and the whistles are really still a bit disturbing, and another dig by a middle, and George hammers that through the line. I think at some point Prisons were really a bit distracted because they might have taken a swing on that ball, considering that they had really defended it. Unfortunately, George gets the final swing going down that line, and it's 19-19 on those scores. And Ate is doing a good job. He's really playing like an opposite there. He's getting all his side out points, and the Prisons is back on the lead by 1 point. And one of the things that you will notice that George has pushed it outside, the middles to block outside, and he has come in. Wow, so he is also a player that can really be versatile and block either way, and a big thunderous swing coming in through. I still maintain that Omusana is not managing to match up with the Redman, so that's definitely a mismatch. But in terms of the services targeted, they were really getting those services very well. He picked his spot. Unfortunately, it went out. But I think the idea was right. If he had only cut a bit, but also there was block. But yeah, it's good sometimes to see players look on the court before they send that free ball to say, well, JB going easy on that serve, and George, oh, what a block! What a block! And 22-20. I do hope that Prisons has a solution. They seem to be doing well until we get to that point in the 20s. So what they need right now is a strategy of finishing the game, which the coaches might need to think about. And a dump, and it has worked from Okanya. Adiri, the setter, goes to the service box. The screen is on Wandera, and I think on this rotation they've scored really several times. The service goes to Brian. Brian is not looking steady today, which is a rare, and 22 apiece. George goes out with that one. I'm wondering if could it be Nemo are just going a bit easy just before the big tournament, because at least at this moment now, I would have expected them to really be exploding. But also in terms of maybe where they practice, it could be the difference. Even as we get that ace that goes on the band, the service by Adiri right there, and it's 23-22. The set 1-0 Nemo Stars with that first set.
We don't know. Have you taken it?
Redman hammers it down on the floor, and it's 23 all. Wandera, front court now, Redman and Esau. I'm wondering whether setter will choose to set. Esau has got very good height and he can really penetrate well. And Redman is one of the best blockers in Uganda. George will go for that jump and he goes out and it's set point. He seems to be going for it, but he's not going for them with aggression. So it has to be a decision that he takes. Either choose to go for them and go for them hard. And Prisons need 1 point. Wandera passes that one, and that one will go to Esau, and Esau goes high and goes big. All right, the referee says there was a net touch right there. All right, they're still resolving that, and the ref will call that point to be played again. And that ball is swung out, and Prisons manages to take a set. So it is 1-1 with that swing that goes out by Esau. One of those rare errors by Esau, and he calls for a touch, and there is no touch. So Redman is a good attacker, but block needs improvement. Oh yes, definitely. He seems to be struggling with block lately. Probably that's why we've seen George going in that middle. But ladies and gentlemen, the set scores are 1 apiece here. Prisons has managed to take a set from Nemo Stars right here, live from NSAMBYA Sports grounds. Set scores 1-1. In this set, attacks were equal. That's interesting. And Nemo had 5 blocks. Prisons had 2 blocks, and Prisons really did gain a lot. Okay, not really a lot, but it is a lot because that's what made the difference. We see their opponent errors. So basically, it talks about the points that Nemo made errors on, and we credit to Prisons, and that's 6 points right there. Even as we wait for this third set. So teams are back on court. So we are back on third set. It is set scores are 1 apiece. Yeah, it is quite a shocker, but yeah, so many things to look into perspective here. But Prisons have put up a good fight. Let's see how Nemo counters for that one. Let's see how they come back. But yeah, they are level. Started with an error, and Nemo is the serving side will take that as it gives them an advantage right there. It was an error between Omosana and the setter. I'm not really sure which stage Redmond missed, but yeah, I've seen him when he's on form, he does get those blocks. Yeah, so I was probably thinking maybe sometimes players go through seasons, but he's always played as a middle blocker. And I've seen him get blocks, and he's played for the national team. So I'm not sure which stage he might have missed in terms of his development. But for me, I'm thinking it could be a phase that is going through. Right now, they just confirming if that ball was in or out. If that ball was in, it could have given Prisons a side out. Unfortunately, that ball does look like it was out from where I am, but I'm not sure if they are checking on the machines right there, because we do have a system where they will check. I don't know if they did a challenge on that ball, but ball is out, and another service for JB. An easy save over by JB. I do think right now JB is actually really struggling. You can tell he's not working well. He's and fumbling there by the Nemo Stars gives Prisons a side out. And the Prisons has done well. They've really stayed on. But also today, the things that are missing, like the side outs from Redmond, but also the passes from Brian also seemingly going over. But Prisons, like I said, are serving simple but very, very strategic. Very strategic. George gets that one on the diagonal end. It is a good point, and they've scored. Skill, unfortunately, is also not permanent. Skill is enhanced by how much you train it, how often you train it, what is your mentality on that kind of a day. You will still have the skill to perform, but skill is also dependent on what your opponent does, and that is called open or closed skill. So today, like I said, Prisons are doing a very good job, and Redman is looking like he's also not on form, so that does not take away the fact that he is a skilled player. I think my argument here basically would be for him to be a middle blocker at this top level and for the years he's played, right? I mean, I stand corrected, but I think it will take him to really be that kind of a good blocker. I do agree a lot with you guys that today his blocks are not at home. These blocks are not working. So yeah, we are quite agreeing, Alan, and we are also quite agreeing that form is not permanent, but skill is also not permanent. By the way, skill is built upon, skill is practiced. And another side out for Redman, 6-3 is the score right there, and Prisons are really doing a great job. You can see they're really being resilient. And they really want this so much. So 7-3. And a monster block right there, and good pass, and Omusana goes high on that swing. Unfortunately, it goes a bit wide on that swing. Yeah, and we will see just him going again to just try on that one. The passes are actually not bad for this side. Yes, this time he gets it around. I had a feeling the setter was going to confirm, because that gives the player good confidence. Actually, it gives the player some confidence to say, hey, you're still my guy, I believe in you. And that's what is expected in this sport. Mariam, you say here you're hearing Grace. I'm assuming Grace is the supporter for Prisons that is always standing in with her team. Yes, she's definitely here, and she's definitely giving her team some vibes here, you know. And Esau is gonna be blocked on that dump. Oh my! And the gap is decreasing right now. The gap is decreasing definitely. Like I said, Prisons is really being resilient. So that is 5-8 to Prisons. One of the rare errors that you expect from JB right there, and that is called, that is a carry, and we can see them protesting. That play was too quick. I actually didn't see. I was still just admiring the resilience of this kind of play. But yeah, there is some arguments right there. But the weather seems to be really going back to where it was. That was actually a carry. That was a carry from where I am. But we live to fight another day with the referees. Alan, you cannot enhance what you don't have. See how George is scoring. Do you think he is on form, or is it skill? I think this will be a whole conversation between me and you, Alan, on a different day where I'm not really on commentary, on a different day where I'm really just doing my sports stuff and talking about skill and talking about the stages of learning and talking about him being at this level, us as a country, putting him as our middle blocker and then saying he doesn't really have the skill. Then what we'll be saying about ourselves as a country. But for me, my take is I don't think he's bad. But right now, Nemo Stars are leading 9-5, and Prisons give that free ball away, and a middle that is not really convincing. And you can see Wellington shaking his hand, and they're gonna go again, but unfortunately they don't get a point. And Chabal is really excited to end this point. The resilience is really paying off. 6-9. A free ball sent right there. Will it be a freebie? Yes, it is a freebie. And Prison's really doing a good job to get back on the set, even with that gap that they have. The passes are not really coming through for Nemo. But like I say, this Prison side really came with a good tactic of serving them out. And what a difference right there. And the ball is dumped out by Wandera. And it's 1 point lead. That was a good kick by the libero. Eight, 9 are the scores. Back again to Wandera. And Esau takes a swing. And yeah, this Prison side today is really has come here to make a statement, has come here with a different approach. Broke out right there, but I love that we are watching our volleyball. I love that we are all stakeholders, and probably we just need to meet up and just sort it out as a country. It's all our responsibility to sort it out. But meanwhile, the game is going on, and another dump by Wellington. Wellington seems to be really dumping a lot today. He hasn't taken much of the swings. So yeah. And the ball goes out right there. So he hasn't made quite a lot of errors today, Ate. So I guess his team can forgive him for that one set, for that one error, I suppose. But yeah, it does create a gap for the opponent. And another dump right there. Will it be taken? And the question is, why is Redman giving that ball on that extended set to Wellington, who is the middle? I mean, how often does he get to practice going on that on that ball? But the serve will go on the net for Ojilong. I think the tempo for this game is basically, after the rains, a bit increased, but also Prisons is really putting up a fight for, yeah, that matches up what Nemo is giving them today. JB also going easy on those serves. And Redman finally redeems me on the commentary box here by getting a very good one of the middle blockers, who is a starter for the Ugandan national volleyball team. The lead is increasing, and we see substitution right there. Okanya is going to be replaced. Coach thinks he's not getting the side outs that the team needs, and Mutegana will come in. Let's see what Mutegana will come in and do. That set right there is quite easy. I believe they can easily side it out. It goes to the libero and mid outside, and an easy dump and easily picked by Brian, one of the young men who's upcoming as a libero, and George gets that point. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you. Thank you. I like that you're enjoying the commentary, but we are also enjoying our volleyball. I mean, this is what we have. This is what we need to embrace. And honestly, it's a privilege to be up here giving you guys this commentary. It's a privilege to watch these teams play. It's a privilege. We will grow as a country. We will grow. We just need to put our heads together. Side out achieved by Team Prisons, who have taken a set from Nemo. I mean, obviously, not a lot of people expected it, but from the onset of this game, I said it that the bench looked quite thin for Nemo, and it doesn't give the coach quite a lot of options. A good pass right there. Will he give it to Redman? And yes, he does. And Redman is shut down right there in Shamira's words, but not only in Shamira's words, but that's the volleyball kind of word that we use when someone is given that monster block, and the scores are 12-16. Players are not really exploding. So yeah, I will just come to my own conclusions and say they're just preserving some of those big explosive movements for when they go to ACC, because you don't want your players really. George goes for power. That's good defenses. That's good defenses by Team Prisons. And a good pick. And Brian is actually on attack, even as people are asking, he's on attack. He's the one who just got that side out. He's actually playing receiving position. That's the left side outside hitter. And an ace, what a save. Goes to the line looking for Wandera, and Wandera is like, you know what, this is out. I think Wandera has really suffered today. Oh my, all those services, and back to 2-point lead. They are having a party on Wandera. Let's see if Wandera will psych up and start to really get those services. A drop now, and he passes it well, and it goes on Esau. Esau is also having a lot of errors. So basically, the people who are really showing up for this game are a bit limited for the Nemo side. But also, we need to remember that Esau has mostly played. Let me say has mostly, because we've seen him in the past going in that position, but this season we've seen him mostly going on the passing role, playing the outside left side of the volleyball court. And timeout called. 1 point away. That's the resilient Prisons team. We are back on after the timeout, and Nemo gets it right. The libero tried covering that. Unfortunately, it was really too quick, and it side out, and that was an attack by Redmond. And side out should be achieved. That's the expectation when a team is receiving, and Brian receives that ball and a block, and we can see Esau pushing there, and they cross through on Wandera, and side out achieved after another opportunity. substitution for team Prisons 19 is going out, and Godfrey, it's the first time Godfrey has come in this game today, and it does look like it's a service substitution. Will Godfrey serve well? Godfrey serves to Brian. Why would you serve to Brian? Why? And like I said, that today Wellington is deciding to dump those balls, and George looks for space. The skilled Aporu. The focus is good actually. From Prisons, they might be 2 points down, but they're really keeping that focus. It takes JB to really think on his combinations in order to score, because this side is really picking the balls well. Esau hasn't served well today and serves easily to Ochabal, and Ochabal takes that ball. Oh, it's picked, and oh, they had defended quite well, and again Wellington not quite getting that ball, and ball does not cross. I do feel like Ochabal right now is a bit over aroused. Okay, that's a term that you use when someone now has a bit of more confidence, because he's been scoring well, but I think at some point he celebrated way too early, you know. And he gets that one right. He gets the dump, and that's a point for his team. Good. Oh, out serve right there by Ate. So one of the aspects about volleyball, so your team will play well. Like I said, it's called momentum shifts, right? Your team will play well. Your team will match up well with the team that is on top of the log. And then you have to be careful that it doesn't then distract you to make you think that you've won the game, because at the end of it all that is needed is results. And I do at this point see as if this side is a bit rushy in terms of how they are looking points. See that set right there. The setter quite rushed that point. So I think Prisons may need to be a bit calm. And also, sometimes the teams need to focus on the scoreboard instead of focusing more on how they are harassing a team like Nemo Stars. So the coach will call for a timeout. He read my mind as well. Hopefully he's just going to tell them, you know what, let's calm down. Let's go back to the game that we have been playing. Oh yes, I like the fact that I can see that clearly the coach is talking to Ochabal. He's been one of the go-to guys for Prisons. He's played very well, but also Ate has really played quite well, and Wellington loses that contest on the net, and Ochabal goes to the service box. The scores are 22-19. Wandera passes that ball, and Esau hard on that block, and he chose to go to the side of Brian, they call him Mutegana, and yeah, he's talking to his team right there to say, guys, I tried. It's a mismatch, which I totally agree with him. The fact that he touched that ball, it does really communicate that he did try. Save to Ochabal, and they'll go again, and a dump there by Brian, and he gets his point. Received set point it is for team Nemo. Good effort by Prisons on getting that block touch, and reverse substitution right there with Godfrey going out, and Ryan Mutegana coming back on court. A good pass. Will it be middle? No, it will be opposite. And that was a set that was really inside, but Ate did a good job reaching to that set as he had taken off, but the set was not where he quite wanted it, and he chopped it down to that line that was really so huge from George. And we wrap up the first set. Most of the sets we've seen JB has been running middle, but when it comes to the Prison side, I think they haven't run those sets like the way they were running them when they won that second set. That could be the difference, but also adrenaline for me here looking a bit too high from Prisons, leading them to making a lot of errors right there. Their outsiders were scoring well in their previous sets, but quite a lot of errors coming in from Ate, a lot of errors coming in from who's that, Ochabao, and then also their setup making also some decisions that really cost them and ended up leading Nemo to having those blocks. And there you have it. I think I should just continue doing this thing, man. 6 errors, like I said, opponent errors given by Prisons to Nemo. 6 errors right there, and then 6 blocks for Prisons. So Prisons were not actually bad. 14 attacks. The previous set, the attacks were also really equal. So I said it, the difference was the errors that Prisons was doing. So please stay tuned, stay in touch. We will be giving you the 4th set, and who knows, I mean, I fancy games that go to 2-2. Honestly, I've always said it when I'm up on the commentary box that it's my favorite thing, except when I'm coaching. I don't want games to go to a decisive. But thank you for joining us on the Sporters YouTube channel.
Where have I done bad? That is what me. Not me.
No, the other point where Musa
But was there a night? Was there a night?
he saw it, it is clear. The other side
And this side is here. But then he waited for me to show,
but then,
and then
no, and so the opposite. Uganda, Warulinze out as the first rep, which was okay, no cover point. That clearly indicated that you saw it there was no net.
No, I realized it was a very dangerous part. It was 24.
23. So these guys were then in the 24th point. So it was
I realized like we played this.
so no, it was okay for these ones to make it 24. Not
24.
yeah.
It's business time.
Abadasazeewo ekyo kireetinze fashion bali asazeewo
All right, we are back on. Welcome once again. Thank you for staying tuned. Nemo Stars lead Prisons 2-1. No changes from both sides. I mean, we wouldn't expect so much of a change from Nemo Stars because today they are limited in terms of the bench. But for For Team Prisons, I think I am seeing a change there, but I'm yet to actually get to see who they have put. I think on that outside, they've removed Okanya and Mutegana. He's going to that place. And just so you are updated, so that you are not shocked, our Ugandan weather is back at it again. As you can see, it's no longer looking sunny. It looks like the rains might be coming any minute from now. So in case you don't see us, just know that it will be rains. But we are live, and it's the third set right now with that beautiful dump from Team Prisons. And the score is 1-1 in this fourth set when Nemo leads 2-1 in set scores. George passes very well middle, and Redman is picked. Unfortunately, there is a net touch. A couple of good defenses, actually not a couple, a lot of good defenses from this Prison side today. Side out achieved by Team Prisons, and the score is 1 apiece. They're still at it. They're still on Wandera, and Esau gets that block outside, and Uchapal is like, how did he get in? But yeah, the young men can really jump and go very, very high, and ooh, what an attack by Ate. Wanderer didn't see that coming. I mean, honestly, I honestly am wondering, Wanderer is only passing here because even the sets, they really give him when it's really like so tight, when it's really like that kind of off-system pass, you know? Yeah, so he really has to just get himself on in the game, and that one goes through him again, and it's 4-3. And we can see they are celebrating right there. Obo is really having some fun at the middle player for Team Prisons. Picked on Brian. Brian passes it well, and Wellington finally gets that swing and manages to just go through the 3-man block. They tried chasing it, but I think they kind of gave up. So I think part of the reasons why this has to be an indoor sport is that now the weather has changed. It's really windy, so the laws of motion will have to come into place. The players will have to think about how they are playing. You can see our net is moving. The trees are really moving. So yeah, it's going to really take a lot of thinking. That's a good decision right there by Ate, and he gets that point to get on the lead at 5-4. Saves on the net even as he's looking for Brian. I honestly think that was the wind. He doesn't know what happened. Are you sure? I think that was the wind. So yeah, but also Redmond could have gone in way too early, and that's a point. Ochabal takes the service box. It's a good thing that now in volleyball, we thank our scientists. They really thought about it, and they decided on it, and they made a ball specifically for outdoor. JB goes up, but that ball is overpassed by Esau, and the captain is really not happy right there. He's like, you know what, Wandera, all you're supposed to do is just give us the passes. We relieved you of attacking. We relieved you of everything. So yeah, that's the call for captains. But Ochabal and the team will enjoy that 2-point lead it is. Wandera passes that one well, and it's not set well by JB. And Redman, with his long hands, manages to get that on court. I honestly think that set had way gone out, and the attacker tried fixing it by trying to dump it, and that was none other than Mutegana. Good peek. Where will he take it again? To the man end. Wandera defends it as well, and that's a double. Oh, that passes out from George. I thought that was a double touch by the setter. Yeah, so really physics has to work here. The laws of motion, understanding the wind, your geography, everything that you know about the weather and how to play against the weather has to work. And 8-6 is the score. Esau goes hard, but he is blocked, and that set is blocked, and they send it over. It could have been 4 touches, but the ref did not see that. And Nemo point. Could have been 4 touches. Could have been. There was a lot of fumbling right there. And George saves on the net. Adiri, the setter, goes to the service box. He normally picks his target, Wandera. I wouldn't say he picks, but this time he goes for George. And unfortunately, George passes well. I think he has been doing a great job. So you're like, the screen is on one side, but you serve to the opposite side, meaning George could well see that serve is coming to him. He was sticking with that serve on zone 5, and he was doing very well. So sometimes players really need to be reminded. And Redman also serves to the libero. They picked and a set by George, which Esau says, you know what, I can't really afford it. And quite a lot of sloppy plays right there, but I wouldn't blame anyone. Just the wind is not allowing. And Nemo gets a point right there. Ooh, is that another injury? Okay, the libero is down. The libero is down, and the referees and is being attended to. So yeah, I hope he's fine. But the scores are level right now, 9-all. And Nemo Stars has 2 sets, while Prisons has 1 set. And out goes Mutegana. They left the line for him. He looked for it too wide. Could have been a strategy, but the idea of him going there was actually looking like it is correct, but the execution didn't quite go well, and has given Nemo their first lead in the set. Ate will go for it and will go out. I haven't seen Ate put his head down, but here he's really not looking confident. But Ate being Ate, he will come back again. I mean, he does seem like one of those players who don't really easily just give up. And first time out of this set called by Prisons, and I hear the rains outside. Please stay tuned. We appreciate you very much, and we thank you for tuning into this channel. Yeah, and we do appreciate the rains that God gives us, but at this rate, we just pray that it rains in the evenings and mornings before we start our league games. So we're back on it. Free ball will be taken right there. And as I said that Ate will go again. Fourth 9 it is. The lead has opened again. Ate finding no place to go with Esau up there on that side. Another good pass. Will he go middle? Yes, he does. Picked by JB. And George says, look, I will pass this. And Esau goes and is picked up. George calls loudly. I think George has taken it upon himself to be the one passing those free balls. And it's hammered down by Wellington. I would love to see Prisons continuing with the resilience that they've been given us. It's been quite good because the pass is coming through very well, actually. So it's just one side out that they need. And will they get it? Yes, they do get it on that error block. And it seemed like they quite forgot that they were getting most of their points by going to the side where Wandera is blocking if Wandera is in front. So part of the things that coaches need to remember, even other players on court can remind the setter, hey, this is how we've been scoring. And Wellington goes for another side out and it is achieved. But also their block seems to be a bit off. In the previous set, they really were high in getting in those blocks, especially through the middle. But right now, middles are just doing what they want, getting those swings on top of them. Save achieved by us, Esau. Pipe attack. Oh, a block. Good read by Nemo Stars. Substitution by team Prisons. I think they have removed a middle and Esau sends that ball out. And sometimes it works for coaches. Change something. And within that time frame, they've kind of lost focus. And Ojema got in for Obo and he's on the service box. Oh no, not yet. His turn to go on the service box. Pass by George. Esau, and Esau swings out. Esau seems to be struggling with that ball today. And now 3-point gap and Ojema on the service box. The captain talking to the coach right there saying, but JB is just lifting the ball up, is carrying the ball. So let's see what the referees do next time JB sets. And oh, that was actually a missed swing. I don't think that was his intention. Unfortunately, Prisons thought that was a hard attack and they stayed flat-footed on the floor and the block had gone up, so that became effective, giving them a side out. Set using a dig and gone out. Prisons does seem to be struggling right now. Ate is off the court, who has been making a lot of points, and they've been blocked there. Ochal seems to be blocked, and again, and this time he puts a lot of power to it and he gets that point. To me, the difference is the fact that there is no middle. running on the prison side, while Nemo are basically just playing that middle. We've seen a lot of reduced swings for George and Wandera, but a lot of swings for Wellington and Redman. And on the, oh, I thought it crossed. Wow. All right, so that point goes to Nemo's side. That's a good pass and middle, and he dumps the ball. And George goes hard. He's picked up. The libero has also done quite a good job. And JB will get himself on the scorers by blocking that ball down. That ball could have been played better, actually. It could have been played better. And timeout called, 1913, a third set it is. It's drizzling a bit. Yeah, I think really the rains are coming and the game is about to end. So I think the referees are feeling like, why are you calling a timeout when we're about to just wrap it up? But now the case is being volleyball, you never know. Maybe Prisons might just come up. A big shout out to the tech team, Malik, Najib, Dewo, and Kenny, the sports tech team that are making it happen for you guys to be able to see this game, and the other guys out there in the cameras. Side out, oh, good defense there by Esau, and George will go skillfully and he's blocked out. So 2013 it is. On the cameras, I think there's Baguma, there's Nataka, there's Ken, and on the scoreboard there's Hillary. So that's the team that is working today, giving you this match live. And oh, another pick. Esau is suddenly coming up with those important digs in this game, but the libero also, oh. Okay, that's understandable because that was like defense. All he needed was someone to just back him up. But Nemo are like, you know what, we really want to wrap this up, and they're really going at it right now. 21-13 is the score. Esau again, and JB looking who's available. George is available. He goes hard, but he's pegged. And wow. So really, that's been a very, very good service run. What I keep talking about to say, for me, this is the kind of serves that I've seen from Wellington. But I think the setter can play a better role on the side of Prisons. We see another substitution there with Ojilong going out. I'm yet to see who has come in for Ojilong right there, and Wellington doesn't get that serve quite right. So it is actually Godfrey who is coming for Ojilong. 14-22 is the score, and Nemo leads this game 2-1 in sets. Oh, what a touch. That was some good defense. And he's gonna send it, and who's setting it? The libero pushing the middle away, and George uses those hands. Surely George is quite skilled. But Prisons are lacking that side out. Their defenses are good, but they don't have anything to offer on the side out, and they don't have anything to offer. It's like they've run out of fuel, which is what they definitely need to work in that. And that side out again refuses, and even as Godfrey swings out, and it's match point. The referees must be celebrating because the rains are coming, and they're like, you know what, we just needed to make sure that this game gets done and dusted. Is what is happening to Prisons. I think Prisons are honestly have gone so low. They've really gone so, especially on those swings. And George finishes the match, and it's 3-1. Oh, that's that point. Sorry, I think it's me who's actually wishing the game could be done before the rains come, because that was match point. That was actually not game over, and an error on the block. But that's running the middle. What I've been talking about, to say run that middle and you will score points. So the setter did run that middle, and they managed to get that point. 15-24. A save pick by Redmond follows it, and finally, it is game over. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah. So Proland players don't allow Bloom. Okay. All right, I'm not able to read that statement. I don't quite understand it. But yeah, the game has been wrapped up 3-1 in favor of Nemo Stars. And it is pouring again. You can see the sun is still out there. People are carrying umbrellas. That's what we are, a tropical country, you know, always blessed with the rains. But you know, and we will shortly see the statistics, and we will also I'm able to tell you that JB seems to be working pretty well. I hope later on he doesn't start to feel the pain. But Nemo Stars has wrapped up that game. But also shout out to Prisons, who also wrapped up that game. I will be giving you a post-match interview after I give you the stats for set 4, 15 attacks. So definitely a lack of in attacks for Prisons, as I said. No opponent errors are the same. So definitely there were no side out from team Prison. Ladies and gentlemen, just hang in there. I'm going to be giving you post-match interviews from both teams. Right, the rains are pouring. We will just keep having the pre-match interviews. But thank you for tuning in. We still have one more game coming up. A KAVC A men versus UCU, and UCU are coming in from loss to Sporters, and so that match would be quite fun because both teams almost close to the bar of going to the playoffs. I think UCU is in the bracket of going to the playoffs, but KVC is really playing to get into that bracket. So it will be an interesting match, ladies and gentlemen. We all know it's going to rain shortly and stop and give us the time to play. So please stay tuned. We love you very much, and we thank you. Imagine Nemo comes with 7 players and 1 setter, and they still win. Yeah, I agree with you. I felt also on their swings they were not really going big on the swings. I think definitely it does look to me like they're preserving themselves. I mean, it makes sense. They're going for a major tournament. You don't want to start changing your O2Bs when people are injured. So for me, okay, coming with 7 players, I would say no, but not taking those big swings and just choosing to win makes sense. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That is all from me, and you wait for the next game.